Coming up on the Paper Talk today, we'll be looking at Manchester United's transfer business. It seems as though United are not done in the transfer window yet, and we could have a midfielder coming in. Hopefully, it could be Manuel Ugarte. So we'll be getting into that. We've had a few sort of comments and posts from Fabrizio Romano on that front. We'll be getting into that one as well. Also, we've got some quotes from Erik ten Hag. He's been speaking about Luke Shaw, who's obviously still injured. He's been speaking about Mason Mount, who's really not got going quite yet with his United career, and he's been talking about Joshua Zirkzee. So we'll get into those quotes too. Plus, Laurie Whitwell at The Athletic has done his big summer bonanza article where he's looked at what has gone on at Manchester United during the summer with the new structure, with the new transfers coming in, what has gone on there. Don't worry, no one's crashed, just someone beeping their own, so don't have to worry about that one. So we'll be getting into all those stories, plus we'll be getting into some more as well. So let's get into it. Jay here from Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and the weather, it's fine. You probably won't need your parkers. Loads of stories to get through, so we'll crack on. Before we do, though, make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. I want to get to 800,000 subscribers by, I don't know, the start of the season. What's that, about 7 hours? With your support, we can get there. Anyway, loads of stories focusing on the press conference that Erik ten Hag gave and some of the quotes that he gave about certain players. I think there was a bit of an embargo because we've seen some of these quotes come out last night. Fabrizio Romano, one or two others, tweeting it. Basically, he was saying the things you'd expect him to say. He was sort of singing the praises of certain players. Certain players that he mentioned were Mason Mount. He says Mason Mount, basically he's a top player and that he thinks because he's had a good pre-season that he can contribute to Manchester United and he can do good things for Manchester United and help Manchester United win football matches, which is what it's all about. He also spoke about Luke Shaw as well, said he can contribute and was singing his praises, although not everyone is on that same page, because I saw a tweet earlier from Simon Stone in the BBC saying that Peter Schmeichel, I think he'd been on 5 Live, and was having a bit of a dig at Luke Shaw, saying that we pay his wages, basically, Manchester United, and that he should prioritise Manchester United over his country. A bit ironic when Peter Schmeichel questions your loyalty to Manchester United, but that's another story we won't get into because I know it upsets a lot of people when I question the fact he was cartwheeling and all that when he was at Manchester City. It is what it is. Anyway, those are the sort of the main quotes from the press conference. Also as well, a little bit about Joshua Zirkzee, praising Joshua Zirkzee, Erik ten Hag, praising Rasmus Højlund as well, saying that those two can be top strikers and are top strikers. So kind of things you'd expect him to say, praising his players. There's been a few quotes that have been almost taken out of context where he said about not every team being ready, almost no teams being ready for the start of the season, and then everyone's jumping on that saying, well, that he's saying that United aren't ready. I think he's talking about the sort of the preparation that's needed, the transfers, all that other stuff that goes into the pre-season and getting ready for the season, and no one's ever quite fully 100% ready, which I get, but now people have twisted that to say, well, that means he's saying that United aren't ready and that it's going to be a complete shambles, which is not what he said at all. In terms of transfers, because let's face facts, that's what we want to know about, innit? Manuel Ugarte seems to be still on the table for Manchester United. Romano did, I think he did a YouTube video about this. I think it was yesterday. He was speaking about this and he's saying that Ugarte is looking for a solution. He wants to come to Manchester United. Manchester United still want Manuel Ugarte. Also, this ties in with what Laurie Whitwell was saying in The Athletic. Laurie Whitwell's done a sort of comprehensive article for The Athletic, looking at the summer, looking at what went on in the summer, the new structure, signings, all that jazz, the Glazers, everything is in there. A really good article. Go and check that out in The Athletic. I think that dropped this morning. And he mentioned the fact that I think Jorge Mendes is Manuel Ugarte's agent and he still wants to bring Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United, and that deal could still happen. So go and check that article. You'll see exactly what I'm on about there. It would be great to see Ugarte join Manchester United. I get the impression that this deal can happen. I think it probably will happen. I don't know. I'm not ITK. I always tell you guys that. But there seems to be enough sort of enough smoke to make you think there's a fire there. So I do think that it's going to happen. It might be closer to the deadline date. It might be a sort of last-minute thing. But I do feel like Manchester United can get that deal done. It does feel, though, that Manchester United are unwilling to pay what PSG want. PSG want around 60 million euros. United aren't going to pay that. There could be a deal done. Maybe even a loan move. We'll have to wait and see how that materialises, but that could be an option for both clubs. It could be a sort of happy medium. Just on the Laurie Whitwell article as well, he mentioned Leny Yoro, and the fact that Leny Yoro had this sort of metatarsal injury, I think it was some sort of fracture in his metatarsal, or a historic injury, before he arrived at Manchester United. Manchester United knew that, but were willing to take that punt anyway because he's such a talented young lad. Now, the difficulty with that is, or the sort of disappointing thing is, he obviously aggravated that injury or got a fresh injury, however you want to term it, against Arsenal, and he's now out for 3 months. But it seems like United were aware that he had a bit of an issue there, but were willing to take a punt anyway because of the quality of the player, which I kind of get. It is a bit annoying and frustrating, and you look in and you go, really? We're buying players that have already got injury problems? But Leny Yoro, we keep hearing about how he's such an amazing talent, a generational talent. Real Madrid wanted him. Maybe it was worth taking that risk. Time will tell. Hopefully, he can come back. Hopefully he will come back. And that's a bit of a silly statement. Hopefully, when he comes back, we can bring him in gradually and not aggravate that injury any further, because the main thing is we want to get him playing and playing well for Manchester United and not sort of, scupper his career, because he's still only 18 years old, so he don't want to be missing loads of games through injury. This is the time when, sort of formative years, if you will, he's already established himself as a top player. Now it's time for him to kick on, so you don't want to see that sort of hampered with any stupidness playing him when he's not 100% fit. And at least now, with De Ligt arriving at Manchester United, we do have other options as well at centre-back, so there isn't any excuses there. We shouldn't have to rush back Leny Yoro. Another story that's come out this morning, it's come out a little bit left field, but again, there seems to be a little bit of fire to that smoke. I've seen a couple of people tweeting it. A journalist from the German publication Sport 1, I think it's Christopher Michel, I think his name is. Forgive me if I'm getting that one wrong. Also, the Express are running with it. And this is this idea that Chelsea are interested in Jadon Sancho, because Chelsea just love a signing, don't they? They just love transfers. Todd Burley, apparently is not involved in transfers anymore, if you believe everything you read, just loves signing players anyway. So they're interested in Jadon Sancho. Apparently, though, they're looking to do some sort of swap deal with some of their youngsters, but they take him on, and maybe it'd be a loan deal as well. I don't know how it's going to work. There's all these sort of variables to it. Listen, it doesn't look to me as though Jadon Sancho has a very bright future at Manchester United. He's been here for what now, 3 years? I don't really think he's done much in those 3 years. Obviously went back to Dortmund at one point, which doesn't indicate your career's going well when you go back to the club that you've been bought from. Also, as well, he's had this bit of a tiff with the manager. Yes, they've buried the hatchet, but are they still mates, really? It feels like it's a bit of a, sort of begrudging, convenient arrangement rather than an actual warmth there. So I'd be surprised to see him starting for Manchester United. I'd be surprised if he actually wants to stay at Manchester United. He doesn't look like he's very happy. The manager doesn't seem very happy with him. I think him moving on will probably make sense. He's originally from down south, down south, so maybe a move to Chelsea would work if that could happen. One to keep an eye on. Does seem a little bit strange why Chelsea come in for him, but let's not forget, Jadon Sancho is not a bad footballer, he's not a bad player. There's been a lot of question marks around him, but in terms of his ability, he's at the top level. It's whether you can get a tune out of him. Dortmund did a little bit last season. We saw it mainly in the Champions League, that Champions League semi-final first leg against PSG in particular, but can he consistently do it in the Premier League? I'm not so sure, but if Chelsea want to find out, more power to them. That could make sense all round. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. As always, we will keep you posted. We're going to be back later on. We're going to have the brew. If you've not done already, go and check out some of the other videos up there. You've got the Premier League predictions. You've got the McCullough and Joe Smith. You've also got the preview of tonight's Fulham game as well. So get involved in the chat and the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'm Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.